Welcome back to the main events of Italian diplomatic activity abroad. On 13th of November, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni took part together with the Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama in the first Italy-Albania Intergovernment Summit held at Villa Doria Pamphili. At the end of the talks, the two heads of government signed a strategic cooperation agreement and several sectoral accords. Meloni described the agreement as historic, highlighting the strength of the political and personal bond between the two leaders and the two countries. The Prime Minister also reiterated her confidence that the migrant identification centers established in Albania, based on a protocol signed in 2023, will be operational by mid-2026, when the new European regulation on migration come into force. On the sidelines of the Intergovernment Summit, Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani met with Albania's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Elisa Spiropali. The two ministers agreed on the need to relaunch efforts to complete Corridor 8 and to strengthen joint action on the IMEC corridor and the Central European Initiative. On 11th and 12th of November, Minister Tajani carried out a two-day mission to Canada to attend the G7 Foreign Ministers meeting, which the Canadian presidency expanded to include Saudi Arabia, Brazil and Republic of Korea, India, Mexico, South Africa and Ukraine. In his remarks, head of the Cairo Conference on the Reconstruction of Gaza, the Foreign Minister confirmed Italy's commitment to implementing the American peace plan and its willingness to contribute to the government's stabilization and reconstruction of the Strip. Tajani also recalled the recent launch of the Italy for Sudan initiative, stressing the importance of increasing humanitarian aid flows and confirming the upcoming delivery of Italian assistance to the most vulnerable groups, including children and internally displaced persons. Another key issue on the G7 agenda was Ukraine. Following the adoption of the 19th EU sanctions package against Russia, the Foreign Minister reaffirmed Italy's full support to Kyiv, a commitment he had already reiterated at the meeting requested by Ukraine Foreign Minister Sybiha before the start of the ministerial attended by the Foreign Minister of Italy, Germany, France and the EU. We are ready to provide every possible assistance to Kyiv, Tajani said, with particular attention to energy and humanitarian resilience and to defense, for which a 12th package of military assistance is being prepared. We will supply new generations and new technologies to restore damaged power plants, as well as technical and financial support. To date, Italy has allocated over 100 million euros to support Ukraine's energy resilience through contribution and soft loans for rebuilding the energy system, the green transition, and the protection of critical infrastructure. Tajani also underlined the importance of strengthening cooperation and internal G7 political dialogue and raw materials in order to develop new partnerships with producing countries and promote private sector investment in sustainable critical mineral projects. On 10th of November, Deputy Foreign Minister Maria Tripodi represented Italy at the 4th CELAC-EU Summit in Santa Maria, Colombia. The summit reaffirms Italy's and the EU's increasing attention to the Euro-Latin American Partnership, which brings together over one-third of the United Nations member states. The agenda focused on strengthening the rules-based international order, addressing the tribal transition, climate, energy and environment, promoting trade and investment, and combating organized crime. Fabrizio Nicoletti has taken office as Italy's new ambassador to Buenos Aires, the Foreign Ministry announced. Born in Catania, 61 years old, Nicoletti entered the diplomatic service in 1989. He was held posts in Oman, Germany, Pakistan and Iraq, and has served as ambassador to Kuwait and Panama, as well as in various roles at the Foreign Ministry in Rome. The diplomatic mission in Panama will now be headed by Giuditta Giorgio, 44, in the diplomatic service since 2004. The Foreign Ministry marks the 50th anniversary of the Osimo Treaty with a volume curated by the Scientific Committee for the Publication of Italian Diplomatic Documents, published by the State Mint and Printing Institute on the Foreign Policy and History portal. The collection retraces the main elements of the Italian-Yugoslav negotiation on the eastern border from 1968 to 1975. It was presented during an event attended by the Secretary-General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Riccardo Guariglia. with contribution from the authors from Professor Massimo Bucarelli and Dr. Arrigo Bonifacio, and from the Foreign Ministry Coordination for Exiles and Minorities, Minister Daniele Rampazzo. And that's all for now. Thanks for your attention and stay tuned!